Hi, welcome back again. In this session, we are going to discuss some more visualization in the Power BI. Previously, we discussed a lot of the different type of the visualization that will be very important at the time of the making an interactive kind of the dashboard using a Power BI. So if you want to familiar about the previous one, we need to explore it. Come to my YouTube channel, search it out by the name of Fahad and CS. There's a playlist. There are different playlists are there, including the Power BI. You can with ease watch with related to the material where you can freely download all the material available on my blog fahadhusseincsblogspot.com. You can go there, freely download the material. If you are new in the YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Do subscribe the channel to get familiar about what is going on in upcoming days. So let's understand the three more visualization in this session. We discuss about the waterfall, funnel, and the scatter bar chart. So add a page here. Just added a page, and you can see that all the pages are renamed with respect to the type of the charts which are used here. So first time, just add a waterfall chart here, and just focus mode, and add different number of the properties on it based on the columns. Here you can observe that the first one is the categories, and then the breakdown, and after that the y-axis where the tooltip drilled through we have already seen. Which means that if you observe the UI here, you can easily observe that the visualization, especially the waterfall, that's indicate that how the data is going to fall down with respect to the categories and y-axis value. For example, I'm just going to drop degree programs, okay, for example the name as well as the further income in a y-axis. If I just drop this three number of, so which means that the category of my hierarchy or waterfall is based on the degree program, but with respect to the name it will break down. Okay, and you can see that in a x-axis by the name are there, but the y-axis value will be the further income. So I can say that further income with respect to the name where the degree program is the categories, and you can see that the categories are here, okay, as a legend. And if I just hover it, you can see that with respect to the values, they are just going down, which means that I can say that this is the area where the yellow color present. I'm going to zoom it out. So there is the area in which the psychology sum of the income is 3000. Similarly, the BSCS sum of the further income 7000, and the other charges are the 4000. Based on this, if I just go down from the left side, the income is going down, little bit more down, more down. Okay, so this is the downfall of the values in the ascending order or the descending order. Okay, same for the right hand side. You can see that right hand side is also going down. Okay, similarly this pattern you can observe that, okay, going down and so on. So we can say that when you just use a waterfall, a hierarchy or the model, it shows that how progress is going up and down in a form of the categories, breakdown and y-axis. If you go to the properties option on it, the same properties which we have discussed in the previous sessions in the different visualizations, same are using. You can change the x-axis, y-axis properties, legend attribute are there. You can change the direction. Okay, all the properties are almost same as respect to the previous one. You can make it off as well. The grid lines there, a column breakdown. Okay, how it's look like maximum breakdown is 5. You can increase and decrease. Look at this, huh? So you can increase and decrease the breakdown values as well according to the requirement. Data label is there. You can make it on or off. The values are there. And you want to place a background image, you can also do it. Huh? The journal property is also same. And if you click on the further analysis, the cost trend line is also there. And if you remember that the cost trend line is just a threshold, which we discussed in the previous different sessions as well. So that's the first one. I just back to the normal visualization, set it. And after that, come to the visualization, there is the funnel chart. If I just make a funnel chart and get into a focus mode, what is the funnel chart? We need to understand that where and which situation we need to prefer to use a funnel chart. For example, the chart's basic draw shows that when the data is break down with respect to the higher value to lower value, okay, and you want to see that how value is distributed in a form of the funnel, in a form of the blocks, so you may prefer to use a funnel chart. For example, I'm using a category here, the same thing, the categories, the values, the both things are almost same as like a waterfall, but there is the one category less. So I can just drop a duration here, and with respect to the duration, the further income. Okay, that's a very less data. That's because of the using this data to understand that how graph work. When the graph understanding is cleared, you may use a professional data. Okay, and in the coming videos, we use a professional data to make a interactive kind of the dashboard. So I just use a duration here, and you can see that the duration is a string data. okay, which is a categories, and after that the income. And in the income you can see that when you drop a numeric value, it is going to convert into a sum, average, minimum, maximum count. You can use it to convert as well. But when I just show the hierarchy here, so you can see that this is a duration in a y-axis, and this is the internal data that shows that the complete strength of 100% data to the less data. So I can say that if I just compare the further income with respect to the category or duration, this is the first value that's show a percentile in the form of the percentile 100%, and the worst value or the less value is a 17.6% of the overall value. So that shows the how your sales, how your marketing, how your revenue is going on with respect to the different categories or the department. So you can easily show up your data in a form of the waterfall, okay, in the form of the funnel chart, right? If you go to the format of the visual, the colors, you can change it, okay? I can change the color. Similarly, data label is also there. You can change the data label inside, outside. Values is also there, which type of the value you are using, 1,000, million, billions, almost the same thing. Background, if you want to show the background. Category labels is also there. You may change the category labels, okay? Look at this is a category label is going to change, and conventions rate is also there. You can also change with respect to the color and other properties, okay? Look at this. Similarly, there is no further analysis on this charts. So that's a very simplest find form of the charts where you can easily use the numeric and string data together to show up a relationship into a form of the percentile form. So I'm just back into the report and just enlarge it to show. And the last one, the scatter chart. I just add a scatter chart, focus mode, and that is a very important chart, scatter. So if you observe that, first I need a value, then y-axis, x-axis, and the legend attribute, and after that the size as well. Huh? So I'm just going to add, so I'm going to drop in a first attribute values. So value will be name, then in the x-axis further income, then the roll number in a y-axis, okay, and the legend I can drop a duration as well, huh? Right? You can observe that because my data is not accurate for the all type of the visualization, but at the time of the starting, we need to familiar about that how data is distributed and how graph work with respect to the data, okay? Don't care about that how data is going to visualize. It's all about the dummy data, okay? So we need to understand that the values, what is the base thing in which I'm going to made my graph, okay? The x-axis and y-axis, the legend attribute, and the size. For example, this is the scatter form of the circle data, okay? If you want to increase the size with respect to the any specific column, you may drop a column as well. For example, a degree program, I'm just going to drop a degree program. With respect to the degree program, the size is going on, okay? The play axis is also there, which means that if you want to play this one, okay, as like a video or the frame, you can also drop a column. So based on this column, the video will be, the frame will be moving on, okay, like this. I'm just going to drop a date here, okay? So you can see that there is a play button, and when I just click on it, with respect to the date, the graph is showing, and after that, when the graph is showing on, it's going to hide one by one with respect to the date which you drop on the play axis, okay? So if I just cancel this one, this is the simplest form of the graph. Here you can see that when I just click on it, it will individually indicate that, and there's a legend attribute, okay? If you delete the name, okay, one of the attributes is make a disturbance on the graph. So the value is now missing from individually, whereas the y-axis and x-axis is over there. So I just add a name here again to show up a complete data, okay? And now I just back to the report and I just make it a little bit, and you know about that all the graphs are attached to each other in the Power BI, and when you click one of the individual records, the related other type of the graph is going to disturb or show a specific data with respect to that one in which you have clicked before. If I just explore the format of the visual, almost different number of 99% attribute are the same. Legend, grid line, zoom slider is also there. Huh? Look at this, the zoom slider. So we discussed different type of the zoom slider as well in the previous session. So in our x-axis and y-axis is a zoom slider. That indicate that the specific area will be zoomed. Okay. The markers are there. I can change the size, style of the marker like this. The scaling size, rotation, I can rotate the scale, the angle of this sign which you have used here. The color, you can also disturb the color, the border. Okay. You can disturb the border. category label, which means that with respect to the sign, the value will be there in the background color. The journal attributes are same. And there is the y-axis, x-axis, minimum line, maximum median line, which means the threshold line, as like the same thing we discussed in the previous one. Okay, that's why I'm just make a video dedicated way parallelly to each other to understand all the topics with ease, right? So you need to just watch the previous one so you can easily explore that what are the difference between this line, percentile, symmetric values, shading values, okay, ratio lines. These are all things we discussed before. Okay, so that's all about in this session. We discuss about the three type of the graph in this. The first one is a waterfall, funnel, and the scatter plot. Hope you will understand the entire concept of this session. Next video we discussed about the power query. Okay, the power query editor, which means that how you can normalize the data. This time till this time we discussed different type of the visualization, is about almost 20 number of the visualization we discussed. Now back to the power query editor, where we understand how we normalize the data, and when we understood the normalize the data, we come back here and understand how other graph effectful for the dashboard. Okay, stay in touch. If you have any query, feel free to ask on the YouTube channel. I will try my level best to give you a answer on the right time. Stay in touch. See you in the next session.